Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss a recent article that highlights part of a new interview with Christopher Landon, the new director of Scream 7. Now in this interview segment, Christopher shares some very cool Scream-related history, and after hearing this, it makes him being chosen as the new director even more meant to be, and it looks even more like it was destiny that is truly coming to pass right before our eyes. But what new information did Christopher reveal that's led me to this conclusion? Well, you've come to the right place because it is time to find out right now. Let's go!
It's David Arquette, Dewey from the Scream movies, as you know. Remember, there's only one rule to surviving a horror movie, and that's subscribing to Craving Something Scary.
So CinemaBlend.com recently posted an article that recapped Christopher's appearance while guesting on an episode of the SiriusXM podcast, The Jess Cagle Show. Now, during the show, he dropped the awesome reveal that his input was actually part of the process that led to Scream being made. We're talking about the very first Scream. Now, in his own words, he said this: "When I was an intern in college, my first internship was at a production company, and they knew I was a horror fanatic, a big horror nerd. So this hot spec script came in, and they gave it to me first because they said, it's a horror script, so you should read this and tell us if it's any good. And I read like the first 15 pages, and I freaked out, ran into my boss's office and was like, this is amazing. You guys have to buy it. So everybody started reading it, and it was Scream, which at the time was called Scary Movie. And they bought it, and they made it. So it's this weird full circle moment to find myself about to direct the next one after I was like weirdly the first person to read it. So this is just really awesome, guys. What a really cool bit of history, and just so unique. It's such a unique thing that Christopher Landon literally was the first person at the company to read the Scary Movie script that was written, of course, by Kevin Williamson, and later turned into Scream, directed by Wes Craven, and the rest is history. But how amazing is that to be that person that, and not only did they read it, like, but it'd been one thing if he'd have read it and been like, oh, I don't think it's going to be that good or something like this, right? But no, he read the script, 15 pages in, runs to his boss's desk and says, you must buy this script. And it's so cool that they ended up, number one, they ended up buying it. But the fact that he was the first at the company to read it, and here we are, all these 20, whatever we are, almost 27 years later, and maybe 28 years later now, probably whenever they actually got the script. And here we are, right? And now he is actually going to be directing the movie. I just think it's fantastic. And it also is really cool because he has literally been a fan of Scream since before it was made. And there's not very many people on this earth that can say that. The cast, obviously the producers, Wes, rest his soul, Kevin Williamson. But there's not many. And Christopher Landon is one of them that already was a fan when it was still just on paper. And the fact that him and Kevin Williamson remain friends today, as he mentioned in another interview I did a video on a couple days ago, that him and Kevin are still friends, and that Kevin Williamson actually is the one that put his name in the hat for the director's role. So that's how close they still are in their relationship. And you just have to think for a second, guys, for all of you folks who are legacy fans like myself, been there in the theater from the first movie on, and just the brilliance of Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven in those first 4 movies. But could you imagine, guys, just for a second, let's close our eyes and just imagine seeing this. Scream 7, written by Christopher Landon and Kevin Williamson. Oh my gosh, my head would explode. I could not even imagine what that script would look like. It would be amazing, guys. And I'm not going to say that's going to happen, but I'm going to say this. As of right now, there's always a chance. There's always a chance with the writers on strike. You know, this strike stuff is really has the potential to really shake some things up. And, you know, the rumor was there was a completed draft of Scream 7 by James and Guy. And so whatever side of that fence you're on, whether you think that's true or not, I tend to believe it is true that we have some type of an outline of a draft for this movie. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that is what I think. However, with the writer's strike going on, who knows when the dust settles from all of this, what's going to happen? And I'm just saying, look, I'm just saying this. As of right now, at least as of today, at this moment, we can say there's always a chance. Things can happen. Things can change. But if we had a Christopher Landon, Kevin Williamson co-written script, it would be absolutely, without even looking at it, without even knowing the content of that script, I can tell you right now, it would be phenomenal. And one can only hope and imagine what could be of Scream 7. And even if James and Guy are retained as the writers, which I think probably that is what's going to happen, the fact that Christopher Landon is still there directing, he has a writing background, he's a great writer and director, the dual threat. So there's always, I believe that if Christopher sees something in that script that just not right, it just doesn't make sense, continuity-wise, plot line, if he sees something in that script that to him doesn't add up, I believe, unlike Radio Silence, who I believe just took it and made the movie, that's kind of what they did, like tacticians. But Christopher is more than that. He's a writer and a director. And I just believe that if Christopher sees something in that script that in his mind, again, this is not adding up, this doesn't match up with what we did earlier, things of that nature, timelines, all those things, I believe he will step in and say, hey guys, we need to fix this. This isn't going to make sense in the movie. And I believe that just having Christopher in that role alone is already going to elevate 7 in many ways. But I'm talking specifically about the writing right now. The writing, even if it is James and Guy, I believe that the writing is going to the next level with Christopher's input and eyes on that script. So that has me extremely excited. And, if anything comes of Kevin Williamson, great. But even if not, just having Christopher Landon in there, guys, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the difference maker. And I am so thrilled to see what Christopher brings to the table, to get his fingerprint and DNA on the Scream franchise. All right, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for now. But listen, I want to know what you think about the news that Christopher has shared regarding his origin point with the Scream franchise. I'd like you to leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments section below right now. And if any theories maybe have popped up in your mind after listening to this video or watching it that may be stirring and getting your gears going, I love to read your theories and your ideas. So guys, please leave a comment now, even as this video is starting to wrap up, because I would love to read your comments and discuss them with you. All right, guys, that's all for this update. But once again, I'll be back soon with more Scream and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.